So as early stage investors, our whole mission is to be as early as possible to a massive megatrend, to buy assets as inexpensively as possible with as tiny market caps as we can possibly find. Nuclear energy is one of those megatrends, and the assets that control the fuel that power nuclear energy are as dirt cheap as you could possibly imagine. So let's dive into what's been going on with some of these assets. The Global X Uranium ETF year to date up 8.66%. The S&P 500 only up 2.51%. We're seeing outperformance in these assets. Why? Because the fundamentals couldn't be better. The Trump administration is exploring legal options to cancel loans issued under a $400 billion program to finance clean energy technology as it considers overhauling the initiative, according to a person familiar with the matter. The newly installed Director of Energy Department's loan program told agency officials in a meeting last week the effort will be retooled to focus on technologies favored by the administration, such as nuclear power and liquefied natural gas. They're excluding wind. They're excluding solar. The current administration is going to invest massively into nuclear power. The previous administration also invested massively into nuclear power, but this administration is even more bullish on nuclear because they're excluding wind, they're excluding solar. And what they're doing here is providing a major financial incentive to companies within the space. And uranium miners are among them because they're crucial for nuclear energy. Energy Fuels could begin shipping uranium ore across Navajo Nation as early as Wednesday. So they're deregulating the space. They're rolling out the red carpet for crucial companies like Energy Fuels, strategic companies like Energy Fuels. If the U.S. wants to triple the world's largest nuclear fleet, a strategic uranium reserve is crucial. Trump is trying to fix a Biden mistake and finally classify uranium as a critical resource. The Trump administration could throw a lifeline to the uranium sector. The Biden administration did not recognize uranium as a critical mineral. One of Trump's many Unleashing American Energy directives requires the Secretary of the Interior to instruct the director of the USGS to consider updating the survey's list of critical minerals for the potential of including uranium. Categorizing uranium as a critical mineral would open up federal funds and fast-track permitting for domestic uranium projects. If uranium is a critical mineral, then a strategic uranium reserve only makes sense, similar to how we have a strategic reserve of oil. We've been talking about how uranium is the new oil because nuclear energy is undergoing a renaissance that is setting it up to power everything. Data centers. India Energy Group plans the world's largest data center. We've seen massive amounts of capital flood into small modular reactors, which are powering these data centers. So the more data centers are built, the more nuclear energy is needed. Work is underway to desalinate water using nuclear energy, right? Every single use case on the planet you can think of for reliable, inexpensive energy, that's what nuclear is going to be powering. The US government gets it. We've been covering on this channel how we're in a multi-decade supply crunch for this asset. All the experts agree. We show it every single week. Every single model shows a multi-decade supply crunch where there's a shortfall of tens of millions of pounds of uranium. There's massive demand. There is a shrinking above ground supply. And we have the US government doing everything it possibly can to not only accelerate demand, but potentially shrink the supply further if they deem it as a strategic resource that the US government needs to stack itself. And we've also been covering how we're entering 2025, which is the year that secondary supplies of uranium drop off a cliff. So the supply-demand imbalance is just accelerating. 2025 should be a game-changing year for this asset. So should the next 4 years as this administration rolls out the red carpet for nuclear.